Hello, everyone. I hope you had a decent weekend. This week in science class, we are going to finish up our review for chemistry. Today, we're going to do that by going over your study guide. That is your distance learning assignment for today. Tomorrow, we're going to watch an episode of Bill Nye, and that episode will be about chemical reactions, help as a review. And then on either Wednesday or Thursday, you're going to have to set aside about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes of time to complete your science test. You get one attempt. It is timed, and it is open resource. So you can use your notes. You can use the study guide. You can go back and even review the videos if you want. But it is timed, so if you run out of time because you spend all of your time looking up answers, then you get graded on what you have completed. And with distance learning, there are not going to be test corrections. You get the test, and then we're going to move on. So make sure you're spending time studying, reviewing, and getting ready for this exam. One other note about the exam, you can look stuff up on Google, but I would not recommend it. I will be looking for answers that follow the naming conventions and the things that we've taught you in class. If you look things up online, you'll get some general generic names for some of these compounds, and they don't use the scientific naming conventions that you've been taught, so you're going to get the wrong answer. So make sure you understand how you're supposed to do them for class. Now, to help you with that, I'm going to help go through the study guide with you today. We're going to go over our vocab words. We'll talk a little bit about the I can statements. On the study guide here, I have the element name, element ending list. Some of them are really easy. You just change the N to a D. Fluorine becomes fluoride. Chlorine becomes chloride. Some of them, though, like oxygen, sulfur, nitrogen, the ending completely changes and you just totally lose some of the letters. So it makes it a little bit more difficult. So that's there for you to make sure you spell those correctly and choose them correctly. And then there's a list here of the prefixes that we use for covalent bonds. And covalent bonds are non-metal to non-metal, and they're the only ones that have these prefixes. Ionic bonds do not use the prefixes. So for vocab words, cation, that is our positively charged ion. They give away extra valence electrons. An anion, this is a negatively charged ion. They take on extra valence electrons. So the cations, these are our metals. They always get listed first in an ionic compound. Anions, these are our nonmetals, and they always get listed second. To help you identify those, make sure you have your periodic table or have access to my color-coded periodic table, which I've posted in our folder. Next up, the valence electrons. These are the electrons in the highest occupied energy level. Okay, so if we think back to the Bohr model of the atom, Niels Bohr, he had that dense nucleus with the protons and the neutrons, which was represented by the sun. And then orbiting around it, we had all the electrons, kind of like planets. In that first ring, like where Mercury would be, you can fit 2 electrons. And those are the only 2 electrons you have. That's your highest energy level. They're your valence electrons. If we go out next to where Venus would be orbiting around the sun, we can fit 8 more electrons. And if that is all the electrons that you have, then those would be your valence electrons. If you go out to Earth's orbit or Mars's orbit, that's your highest occupied energy level. If there are electrons there, those are your valence electrons. Next up, an ionic bond. This is the force that holds together cations and anions, forming those compounds. This one blue. Wrong blue. There we go. Okay, then we have a covalent bond. Covalent bond is a chemical bond formed by sharing pairs of electrons. Okay, then we have a compound. Compound is a pure substance, pure, not purse. Pure substance comprised or made of two or more simpler substances that can also be broken down into those simpler substances. So the example here would be we did our lab where we put together copper plus oxygen. Okay, so we had two simple substances, two elements, we put them together and get copper oxide. All right, we heat up the copper powder, stirring it in the test tube. Now, this is a compound because I could take that copper oxide, put it through another chemical reaction, and break it back down into copper and oxygen. Okay, and then we have a molecule. This is a neutral group of atoms that are joined together by one or more covalent bonds. Again, covalent bond is a shared pair of electrons. Okay, over here, product. Product are the new substances made or formed as a result of a chemical reaction. They are on the right side of the reaction statement. So if you look at a chemical reaction, if I give you a chemical reaction statement, everything on the right side of the arrow is a product. So reactants, and we insert an arrow here. And then our products would all be listed on the right side of that arrow. Reactants, those are the substances that undergo change during a chemical reaction. Okay, they are on the left side of the reaction statement. So these are the things that we start with. So we have reactants, and then those reactants, everything on the left side, get rearranged in some way to make our products. Now for types of chemical reactions, we have decomposition. That's our first one, decomp. This is a chemical reaction in which a compound breaks down into two or more simpler substances. Okay, so our example here, we did it with water. We took H2O. We ran electricity through it, and we broke that down into H2, which we lit on fire, and a lot of you got that pop, and O2, which also would have popped, but we used the flaming splint, and part of our fire triangle is oxygen. It was able to light the splint back on fire if we had oxygen trapped in our test tube. Okay, single replacement. So single replacement is a chemical reaction in which one element takes the place of another in a compound. And a double replacement, it's a chemical reaction in which two compounds exchange positive ions and form two new compounds. Okay, so replacement we didn't really do in class. We were going to do a replacement lab on the Friday before we started our distance learning process. Basically, we have some chemicals on each side. We have our reactants and our products on each side of our reaction statement. And in a double replacement, we would have two compounds as reactants. And then those cations, the positively charged ions, would exchange places. For a single replacement, typically this would be an element plus a compound. And then the element takes the place of one of the elements in that compound to make a new element and a new compound. Okay, our last type of reaction is synthesis. So this is a chemical reaction in which two or more substances react to form a single substance. Okay, so this one again goes back to that copper and oxygen synthesis lab that we did in class. Okay, so we had these two elements, copper and oxygen. We put them together, we added some heat to cause them to react, and we formed copper oxide. Okay, so we had two elements and we formed a compound. Our last vocab word, a catalyst. Catalyst we use with that H2O, decomposing water lab. It is a substance that affects the rate of a chemical reaction without being used in the chemical reaction. So in our H2O decomposition lab, we use sodium bicarbonate, that white powder, sped up the decomposition of water. Okay, so there are our vocab words. I only have 15 minutes on each video that I make using Screencast-O-Matic, so I'm going to stop this one here, and then I'll start a new one to start talking about the I can statements. If you guys have any questions, please remember to reach out. I will post those Q&As on our distance learning folder so that everybody has access to the questions and the answers. And if it's something new or like really important, then I'll put together another video to go over some of the most important questions that I get to help you guys out on this test. So I'll talk to you again soon.